At the beginning of our parsha, Rivka feels a rumbling, a commotion inside of her. Vayidrotzu habanim b'kirba. The children agitated within her. No, these were not Braxton Hicks contractions. It wasn't early labor, but rather a foreshadow of two unique personalities that would emerge, two unique identities, two nations. There's a famous midrash cited by Rashi that when Rivka would pass by a house of idolatry, Esav would move about and try to run towards it. But when Rivka would pass by the yeshiva of Shem and Aver, Yaakov would move about and try to run towards it. Even in utero, Yaakov wanted to study in the yeshiva of Shem and Aver. Finally, when Yaakov is forced to flee his home, trying to account for some 14 years that are seemingly missing from the life of Yaakov, Rashi explains that Yaakov spent another 14 years studying in the yeshiva of Shem and Aver. The yeshiva of Shem and Aver is so central to Yaakov's life. It almost sounds like Yaakov was the first kollel guy. But what was the yeshiva of Shem and Aver? And what did they teach in their yeshiva? This, of course, is long before the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai. What kind of yeshiva was it? Was it a Litvish yeshiva, a Hasidish yeshiva, a Brisker yeshiva? Did they teach Lomdus, Pilpulim, Chakiras? Maybe it was more of a Wayu Hashkafa, or maybe like Yeshivat Har Etzion. Was it a Yeshivat Hesder? What was it exactly? Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky explained that the yeshiva of Shem and Aver taught the very valuable lesson of being able to be steadfast in one's beliefs, strong in one's convictions, and confident in one's identity, surrounded by a society whose values are dramatically different. Shem, after all, lived during the generation of the flood, and Aver lived during the Tower of Babel. These two individuals maintained their values and beliefs amidst corrupt societies. Yaakov needed to study in their yeshiva because he had to live with an Esav. He also had to live with a Lavan. In fact, it was necessary for Yaakov to study there for 14 years before he had to go and live with Lavan. That way Yaakov could declare, Im Lavan garti v'taryag mitzvot shamarti v'lo lamadati mima'asav hara'im. I lived with a Lavan, yet I observed all 613 commandments and did not learn from his wicked ways. We are all, in a sense, students in the yeshiva of Shem and Aver. We live in a world whose values at times are dramatically different than our own. But our Torah is a Torat Chaim, a living, breathing tradition that engages the modern world and confronts its challenges. Our Torah is not some old tome that sits up on the shelf collecting dust. It's as relevant today as it is when it was first given to the Jewish people at Sinai some 3,500 years ago. And as students of Shem and Aver, we engage this modern world with all of its challenges, remaining true to our core values, steadfast in our beliefs, strong in our convictions, and confident in our identity. Shabbat Shalom from Jerusalem.